Yo, hello, hello. We are back with some more 9-9. We are now up to episode 2. Sora's game, essentially. You know, episode 1 was pretty good. The setup. Overall, it was also pretty good. But I don't know how this is gonna work. Because we were really only given 2 routes, essentially, which is like the bad ending and the good ending. And the good ending only consists of dating Miyako at the end. So I don't know how this is going to work, but I guess we'll find out soon when we get into the new game. But obviously, obviously, all of the settings were not, did not carry over, which, as you can see, fairly obvious. The and of course, the one thing that I needed to change the most was the sound. And when I went into the voices, I got spoiled on the fact that there's 2 new characters, and the fact that there is a woman voice instead of male, other, like last time. So that's going to be interesting when that becomes relevant. But yeah. Either way, I like Sora. Even though she is 3rd in the rankings, that doesn't mean she's bad. Unlike Noah, who I do not like that much. But apparently in episode 4, which is her episode, she becomes the best girl, apparently. But until then, we're focused on Sora. So enough rambling on. Let's jump right into it, shall we? Everyone has a few memories they hold especially dear. Things they can't forget. Things they mustn't forget. It goes without saying, but I have some too. Or at least, I should have. And yet, they seem to have vanished. Why that is, I cannot say. But they've been scrubbed from my mind so thoroughly that I cannot begin to guess at what they may have been. All that remains is an incredible sense of unease. Hello. Interesting. Very interesting. Damn, they're just gonna hit the ground running, aren't they? They didn't even give you the. Because here's the thing, right? I was worried that it would become a bit formulaic, right? Of you go through the game the first time, something bad happens to the main girl of the route, and then you go back. I was completely wrong. That was gonna happen. Jeez, what the fuck happens? Remember, I guess we'll have to remember what happens. $4.21. It's not the funny number. Scarcely half a month has passed since the new term began, and became a second year, and I became a second year. And yet, this has been perhaps the most eventful 15 days of my entire life. It all started at the festival. A while back, there was this anime called Mobius Ring: The Cycle of Reincarnation. The town I lived in, Shiramitsugawa, helped sponsor it as a way of promoting tourism to the area. The show had been convoluted, had some convoluted plot based off local folktales, based off local folklore. It left a big impression on a small group of dedicated fans, but most people regarded it as one of those oddball shows that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Though it went down in anime history as a complete failure, it's unclear whether the bigwigs behind the regional sponsorship deal are clueless to that fact, or simply aren't willing to admit it. Probably aren't willing to admit it. It's been 2 years since the anime aired. And so we had the second annual Mobius Festival, a ham-fisted attempt to get some mileage out of the anime despite the local residents' overwhelming opposition to going through the cringeworthy event a second time. Unfortunately, an earthquake happened right as things were getting started, it put an abrupt end to the festivities. To make matters worse, the earthquake shattered the namesake treasure of the shrine of the White Viper's relic, a location featured prominently in the anime, and also the site of the festival. As a result, the gate opened between our world and a parallel dimension. I wish I was joking, but no, that really happened. After that, we found a statue that turned out to be a petrified human. That was the start of my surreal half-month. The next major incident was when one of the students from our school, Hoxen Academy, set the building ablaze using some strange power. During the fray, my classmate Miyako Kujo used some kind of superpower to extinguish the source of the flames. And if that all wasn't crazy enough, one of the residents of this parallel world, Sophitia, showed up at my house. After seeing so many crazy things, all I could do was believe the story she told me. It appeared all those incidents had been caused by powerful objects known as artifacts. They spilled into our world from Sophitia's, but they look like ordinary jewelry. They grant their wielders immense power, but are also liable to drive them insane. Not even Sophitia knows how many artifacts have found their way to our world. We still haven't caught the murderer behind the petrification incidents, and there's a real possibility that other malicious users with no reservations about using their powers might pop up. If that happens, there'll be even more innocent victims. Worse, if other villains appear, they might spur the user of the evil eye to commit even greater atrocities. I've teamed up with Kujo to catch the culprit, and our first course of action has been to look for trustworthy users to win over to our cause. Pretty wild story, right?
頑張ろうね。この町を守るために。
It was just yesterday that I tried to show off to Kujo by offering my assistance. Seriously, the whole thing's so crazy, it feels like it came right out of an anime. If this were a TV show, Kujo would be the main character and I'd be the sidekick. Technically, I have an artifact as well, but I have no idea what it does or how to use it. In fact, I didn't even know I had one until Sophie told me. Theoretically, I should have an accessory of some kind too, but haven't been able to find anything like that on my person. At any rate, I'm pretty much useless. Kujo's power stealing an object and making it so its former owner doesn't even remember that it was theirs is amazing. I can't do anything like that. Frankly speaking, I'm not sure I'll be any help at all. So I wondered, what can I even do? How can I help? And that's why right now I'm looking for new comrades. I'm not prepared for this crazy life I've been thrust into, but I know the world's not going to wait for me.
連絡事項は以上。今日はこれで終わり。日直さん。
We stand and bow, signaling the end of homeroom.
はい、お疲れ様。気をつけて帰るようにね。
She picks up her logbook and leaves the classroom. Now then.
かっけるくん、帰りましょう。
掃除だよ。
ああ、そうだった。
My friend Yoichi walks over and drops his bag on my desk. The two of us then head to the corner of the classroom where the supply closet is, and pick up our brooms and walk out into the hallway.
めんどくさー。業者入れればいいのにね。
ほんとにな。
掃除のたびにこれ言ってる気がする。
実際めんどいしな。
さようなら。またね。
ああ、また。
バイバイ。
I stammer out a reply as Kujo walks past us to the hallway. Yuichi waits for a few seconds, then turns to me with a cold stare.
なんだよ。
急に仲良くなってんだよな。昨日も二人で突っ込んでいったし。
昨日？ああ。
Not to believe that whole thing with the fire was just a day ago. When it ended, the fire disappeared as quickly as it came. Even the firefighters flummoxed. Yikes. Chances are a good chunk of the school saw me and Kujo dashing into the heart of the fire just before it vanished. Guess I shouldn't be surprised there are rumors spreading about us now. This also explains all the weird stares I've been getting in class. That said, it seems like most of them don't have a bad impression of me, at least.
二人だけ呼び出されてたよね。先生に。怒られた？
めっちゃ怒られた。死んだらどうすんだって。
妹いるんだよね、1年に。ソラちゃんだっけ？
そう。天って書いて空。
妹を助けるために火の海に飛び込んだわけだ。かっこいいね。そういうところにグッと来ちゃったのかな、九条さん。
なんだよ、グッドって。
いや、だから、勘ぐってるわけですよ、みんな。
みんな？
そう、みんな。
別に、あれだよ。俺一人暮らしだろ？
うん。
よくナインボールに飯食べに行くから。
ああ、九条さんがバイトしてるお店ね。うん。
それつながりだよ、それだけ。別に何もない。
ストーキングを続けた結果、仲良くなれた、と。
ストーキングとか言うな。ナインボールに通ってたのは偶然だ、偶然。九条は関係ない。信じてないだろ
う。まあ、そういうことにしておいてあげようじゃないか。
くそ。
Yoichi smirks. Honestly, I didn't even realize that it was Kujo working as a waitress at Nine Ball until recently. Like I knew Kujo from class, but I hadn't connected her with the cute part-timer at the restaurant at all. The only reason we're talking now is that I've gotten wrapped up in this whole thing with the artifacts. But it's not like I can tell Yoichi that. He'll think I'm insane.
そういえばさ、話変わるけど。
なんだよ。
昨日の火事で一気に持ってかれちゃったけど、あの石像の女の子。
ああ。
人間だったんでしょ？ただの石像じゃなくて。
ネットニュースでも断言はしてなかったが、ほぼそれで確定みたいな書き方してたな。
人が石になるってどんな病気？怖いよね。
病気ね。だといいんだが。
あれ？もしかして信じてる口？ネットで流れてる化け物がどうとかいう噂。
病気より化け物の方がなんとかなる気しないか？
怖いよ。あ、でもウイルスは目に見えないもんね。化け物なら見たら逃げられるけど。
逃げる暇があればいいけどな。
やだなあ、もう怖いなあ。
掃除しようぜ。
はいはい。
A pair of girls on duty give us pointed glares, reminding us of our unfinished task. Monster, huh? I guess in a way you could call this the work of a monster. They're a villain using the power of an artifact to commit murder. I need to hurry and find some allies. Right now, we've only got me and Kujo. Actually, since I can't do anything for all intents and purposes, it's Kujo fighting alone. This monster is too much for her to handle by herself. Yeah, we found out the hard way in her route. We found out the hard way last game. Once we finish cleaning, I head straight home. Not much happened today. The only times I talked to Kujo were a quick good morning, and then that farewell after school. We didn't talk at all about the artifacts, or about how we're going to look for comrades. Though I guess it's not exactly the kind of thing we can talk about at school to begin with. What's our next move? We only just started, but I feel like we've already stalled out. I pull out my smartphone and flop down on the floor. I have Kujo's number now, so I should just consult her if I'm at a loss. But I don't have any female friends, so I always feel awkward when talking to a girl. Man, I'm pathetic. A noise from the front door brings me to my feet. Maybe it's Kujo. Nah, no way, it's Sora. So it can only be... The door creaks open, and as I suspected, my sister pops her head in. Our eyes meet. And for some reason, she winks at me, then wriggles her way in through the half-open door. She then softly shuts the door behind her and tiptoes toward my bed. What does she think she's doing? She shrugs off her bag and falls onto my mattress. Damn brat, acting like she owns the place. I can't believe she's just ignoring me like this. Is this really how Kakeru found out that Sora had an artifact? Because she was so bad at using her powers that she couldn't even sneak into Kakeru's room without him noticing her immediately. Dead silence.
おい。おい。無視すんな、おい。
So he glances at me, then looks away, and then she looks back at me in utter shock. Wow, she did a double take. Pretty sure she's not faking it. What's she so surprised for? She buzzed in here in broad daylight. Did you really think I wasn't gonna notice? Surely she's not that dumb.
いや、なんで？
なんでじゃねえよ。何勝手にお邪魔しますも言わずに入ってきてんだよ。てか何人のベッドで普通にくつろいでんだよ。
だって見えてる？私のこと。
は？何その質問？は？
ちょっと待って、やり直しさせて。
何のだよ、帰れよ。
ちょっと待って、もう一回チャンスちょうだい、もう一回。
She rushes out of the room, not bothering to shut the door behind her. A few seconds later, Sora pokes her head through the tiny gap in the door once again. Like before, she slowly tiptoes her way over to my bed.
いやもういいよ。さっきから何してんだよ、お前。
なんでニーニには私が見えてんの？
だから何なんだよ。そりゃ見えるだろ。
見えるはずないの。
え、何？死んだの？霊なの？
違くて。くそ、お父さんとお母さんには聞いたのに。
Grumbling to herself, Sora plunks down on my bed. Honestly, what the hell is she talking about? Though there is something nagging me about what she said. How can you see me? I'm not doing it. I'm good. It worked so well on Mom and Dad too. Don't tell me she...
超能力に目覚めたとか言わないだろうな。
She gives me a triumphant grin. Holy shit, I was right.
こいつバカだとか思ってます？ いんです、そんなこと思っちゃって後で恥かくことになりますよ。
なんか拾ったか？
Who the fuck says
アクセサリーみ
Buster?
たいな小物。
Bro, who the fuck says Buster this day and age?
拾ったのか？
拾ったっていうか、まあ、うん。
気づいたらそばにあったりするか？ポケットに入ってたりとか。
うん。なんで知ってるの？
マジかよ。
なに？
まさかお前がアーティファクトユーザーになるなんて。
怖い。急に中二なこと言い出した。怖い。何？何？
アーティファクトだ。お前が拾ったアクセサリー。
あれ？なんでそんな詳しい感じなの？
Sigh, and I pick up my smartphone. Okay, time to get over my embarrassment with talking to girls. Kudo needs to know about this.
ちょっと無視しないでよ。もっとこうさ、ニーニーにバカにされるの想定してたんだけど、なんであっさり信じてるの？私びっくり。
お前に紹介したい人がいる。
ちょっと待ってって。ニーニーが私をポカンとさせるのは想定外だから、ついていけてないから、まず私の話を聞け。
後でたっぷり聞いてやるよ。
I start up my chat application. And then I fire off a message to Kujo. I found us a comrade. I take Sora with me to Nine Ball, where we all planned to meet. Kujo didn't have a shift today, so it seems she was already halfway home from school and is doubling back to meet us. I kind of feel bad for making her do that, but this isn't something we should push off. We should put off.
ねえ、誰？紹介したい人って。っていうか何なの？ニーニーが妙に真剣で怖いんだけど。
もうちょっとだけ待ってろ。ちゃんと話すから。
I do my best to placate Sora, who's still a little miffed she didn't get to surprise me like she wanted, and close the door. The bell on the door rings as we step inside. The waiter immediately walks up to us. He asks if we want a table for two, and I give him a non-committal reply as I scan the tables. Looks like Kujo's not here yet. I tell the waiter there's just the two of us, and he takes us to a table. I dither over whether we should sit next to each other, but in the end I decide it doesn't matter. We take our seats across from each other.
もう意味わからん。ニーヤンのおごりね。
いいぞ。好きなの頼め。
マジ？どうしよっかな。もうすぐご飯だしな。
あ、すみません。コーラ2つください。
As our waiter brings over a couple of glasses of water, I hurriedly place an order. While Sora is still stunned, the waiter nods and walks off.
好きなのって言ったじゃん。
俺のな。
くそ兄貴め。
嫌なら交換してやるから。
二つともコーラじゃねえか。
Sora snaps out a menu closed and shoves it back into its holder. Her menu. She then heaves an exaggerated sigh.
で、いつ来るの？紹介したい人は。
今着いたってさ。
I look down at the message Kujo sent me and type back, "Gotcha, we're sitting over by the wall." Kujo walks through the door the moment I turn around. Our eyes meet and she heads to our table with a smile.
ごめんなさい。お待たせしました。
いや、こっちこそ急に呼んでごめん。
あれ、この人。
そら、こっち来い。
うん。
Sora gets up and moves to the seat next to me. So, why didn't you just sit next to her if you were going to do that anyway? Kujo then takes the seat Sora vacated.
コロナグループのだよね。フェスの時コスプレしてた。そっか。フェスにいたもんね。昨日も会ってるけど。昨日？ニーニと一緒に助けに来てくれた。改めまして、九条美也子です。はい。ニーニの妹の空です。
The two of them bow awkwardly to each other. Sora can be pretty cheeky when she's with me, but she's shy around strangers. It's no surprise she's nervous. Just then, our sodas arrive, providing a break in the conversation. Kujo places an order while Sora sips her soda to calm her nerves. After the waiter leaves, Sora bows to Kujo again.
昨日はすみません。火事でめちゃくちゃ動転しておりまして、ろくにお礼も言えず。いえいえ、私は何もしてないから、お礼なら新見くんに。
火を消したのは九条だろ。
でも、新見くんがいなかったら、とてもできなかったから。あれは新見くんのおかげ。
いや、それは。ああ、まあいいや。ソラ。
はい。
そろそろ話が見えてきたんじゃないか？
いや、全然わかんねえな。
She's kind of slow on the uptake, huh? Though, considering how crazy the truth is, I can't really fault her for not guessing. It took me some time to come to grips with it too.
仲間って、ソラちゃんのことだよね。
話を聞く限り、そうみたいだ。
まさかこんな身近にユーザーがいたなんて。当てた。また。ユーザー？それ何？二人の造語？それとも世界共通の言葉？
わかった、説明する。九条、頼んでいいか？
Kujo's iced tea arrives. She pushes it away a bit without taking a sip and starts explaining. Just like she did for me, she takes her time covering it all from beginning to end. She goes over artifacts and uses and explains how the terms are used. The terms are all borrowed from Mobius Ring, the cycle of reincarnation. She then goes over how these artifacts came from a different world and aren't supposed to exist in ours. Next, she tells me how all these events match up with the plot of the Mobius Ring anime. She goes on to explain how there are multiple artifact users around. Flashbang, Jesus Christ, and that the petrification incident, as well as the fire, were both the work of users. She finishes by stating that she herself is one such user, and that she too has awoken to strange new powers. Sora's mouth hangs open in shock.
Wow.
Wow. And then not a word more. She must be shook.
私のアーティファクトはこれ。
Kujo fishes around in the pocket of her sweater and takes out a hair clip. She hesitantly puts it on the table.
能力は他人の所有物を奪うこと。奪う？実演したいけど、ここではごめんね。
Kujo puts the hair clip away with a painted smile. Wait. Pained smile. Kujo has a strong sense of justice, so she's rather concerned about her ability being the power to steal. She started to see her ability in a more positive light once she learned that she could steal others' artifacts, giving her the strength to face down criminals like the villain behind the petrification incident. But even so, she's still having trouble completely accepting her powers.
はあ、なるほど。やっと分かってきた。あの地震でっていうか、神社の宝物が壊れて超能力者が出現したってことね、この町に。そういう解釈でいいと思う。すっげえ、前に見た海外ドラマみたい。すっげえ。ソラちゃんもアーティファクトを持ってるんだよね。あ、はい。私のは。待って。
Kujo gently cuts off Sora when she starts digging through her bag.
出さなくていいよ。大丈夫。でもさっき見せてもらったし。私みたいに奪える人がいるかもしれないから、自衛のために隠しておいた方がいいと思う。ああ、なるほど。
Nodding, Sora closes her bag. Kujo makes a good point. I hadn't even considered that there might be other users, that might be others out there with similar powers, but now that she's brought up the possibility, I can see where it's a bad idea to just go out flaunting your artifact, or the artist couldn't think of an artifact to give Sora, so they just used this as an excuse to not show her artifact, because the same could have been said about Kujo's artifact, but she just showed it willy-nilly. They're fucking talking about this shit in a cafe. This is how Noah found out that the artifact uses. So like, this is a bad explanation.
能力だけ聞いてもいいかな。あ、聞きますか。ついに聞いちゃいますか。
なんで見えるのとか言ってたよな。透明にでもなれるのか？
近い。すごく近い。近い。どんな能力なの？気配を殺せる。気配を殺せます。おい、顔に出てんぞ。しょぼって思ったでしょ。思ってるでしょ。
いやなんかピンとこなかった。
だから気配を殺すんですよ。気配を殺して存在感が薄くなることによって実質透明人間になれるんですよ。実際に姿は消えないってこと？消えない。でも気配がないから認識できないんすよ。ゼロだから。存在感皆無の空気だから。
もしかして俺ん家に来た時能力使ってた？
はい。
いやめっちゃ見えてたけど。
だから本当は見えないはずだったの。なぜかニーヤに聞かなかったの。
ちょっとやってみろよ。今ここで。
いいよ、やってやんよ。あ、でもスティグマ出たら。何？なんだろう。紋章みたいな。力使った時体に出ない？出るの？そんなの。そのはずなんだけど。
アーティファクトって手に入れたら使い方とかその他諸々がわかるんじゃないのか？
個人差があったりするのかな。新見くんのアーティファクトも何も教えてくれなかったみたいだし。新見くんの？ニーニも超能力使えるの？
使えん。俺もユーザーらしいけど使えん。アーティファクトもどこにあるかわからん。
どういうことなのかな？
不明だ、不明。全部。
ただの嘘つきじゃねえか。
うるせえな。それも後で説明するから、今は見せろよ、お前の力を。
お、いいぜ。やってやんよ。
He pushes up her sleeves though they fall back down right away, and frowns slightly as she starts concentrating. Let's see what you can do. Oh great and powerful sister of mine.
え、まだ？
もう使ってますけど。これはあれかな。二人とも見えてるパターンかな。
がっつり見えてるな。存在感バリバリだな。
そり
ゃ。Sora's head crashes down onto the table. She seems pretty shocked, but at least she still has the presence of mind to move her soda out of the way so she doesn't knock it over.
なんてた。能力使って部屋に忍び込んだのにニーに普通に気がつくし、なんで聞かないんだ。
本当に使えるんですか？
気の毒そうに言うのやめろ。使えるから本当にマジで。でもフォローしようとしてやっぱり言葉が見つからなかった感出すのもうやめて。なんなのもう。でもソラちゃんこんなに大声で話してるけど。ほらねえ、周りの人全然気にしてないでしょねえ。
まあ確かに。
There's a group of girls sitting at the table by the window, and a girl in a Kuho Girls Academy uniform sitting in the corner eating a parfait. Yeah, I wonder who that is. But none of them are staring at us. For that matter, even the staff isn't looking our way. It honestly seems like no one's even noticed. Sora's shouting. Flaky as she seems, Sora's not the type to lie about things like this. And our early conversation practically confirmed that she's a user, but
やっぱピンとこねえな。
もうなんなんだよ。一番理解させたい人に効果出ないとか、なんか条件あるのかな。
アーティファクトは教えてくれなかったのか？
教えてくれないよ、そんなの。なんとなく使ってるよ。
そうなっちゃうよね。私も手探りで条件を調べてみたし。
俺みたいに何も教えてくれないケースもあるし、本当に個人差があるのかもな。
そうなのかも。とにかく、能力の使用に制限や条件があるのは間違いないと思うから、多分、今は満たせていないんだろうね、私たちに。
そう、気を使えないニーニが悪い。
なんでだよ。そこはお前の方で整えておけよ。
まだ力の使い方よくわかんないんだから仕方ないでしょ。何にもできないニーヤンよりマシだよ。
お、なんだ、やるか？
おー、いいぞこら、やった
ソラちゃん、今は使ってないよね。他のお客さんに迷惑になっちゃうから。
ら。すみません。
Sora meekly backs off. We joke around like this we joke around like this all the time, but I think Kuja believed we were seriously arguing with each other. Her gaze flits back and forth between us as she tries to think of another topic to lighten the mood. After a few seconds, she turns to Sora with an apologetic smile.
そういえばごめんね。私、慣れ慣れしくソラちゃんって呼んじゃってて。
いいっすいいっす。それしか呼び方ないだろうし。私は、下の名前、みやこでしたっけ？
そう、九条みやこ。
じゃあ、みやこ先輩って呼ばせてください。
I mean, I do like that they are filling the gaps in that didn't really get answered. What am I saying? They're filling the gaps in that weren't there in the first episode, like with them finding out how Sora got her, that Sora has an artifact, and Miyako and Sora giving Miyako a nickname, even though she still calls her Miyako she still says Miyako in Japanese.
これからよろしくね、ソラちゃん。
よろしくっす、みやこ先輩。
Sora raises her glass in a toast. Kuja seems confused for a moment, but then she raises her glass as well, and the pair clink them together. I certainly didn't expect Sora to be the first addition to our team. This week has been a series of surprises. Oh, wait, I haven't actually asked Sora if she wants to join us yet.
とにかくだ。お前の力についてはよくわかった。
ん？なんだおい、偉そうだな貴様。
まあ聞け、真剣な話。俺たちは石化事件の犯人を止めるつもりだ。
ほう。
一番の目的はソフィーさんのお手伝い。アーティファクトの回収だね。
ソフィー、新キャラが出てきましたけど。
異世界の住人だ。
おお。
後で詳しく話す。とにかく石化事件の犯人を捕まえることと他のアーティファクトの回収、それが俺たちの目的だ。
危険なこともあるかもしれないけど、ソラちゃん、よかったら手伝ってくれないかな。
いいよ。
軽っ。
だって別に断る理由ないし。石化事件はぶっちゃけよくわかんないけど、あんな火事みたいなことがまた起こるかもしれないんでしょ。だったらやるよ。どういうわけか超能力に目覚めちゃったわけだし、なんていうか燃える展開。私今主人公っしょ。
Well, you're definitely... What's the word for dual protagonist? Whatever. She's a protagonist in her episode, this one. So I guess she's not wrong. Sora pumps her fist. She's surprisingly hyped about this. And while she looks like she's not taking things seriously, I know that's not the case. That fire yesterday gave her a real scare. Sora knows better than anybody just how terrifying artifacts can be. I'm certain she's given this answer a good deal of thought. To tell the truth, I don't want to expose my sister to danger. But I've just got this hunch that she'll be right. That she'll be alright, no matter how dicey things get. Though I can't really say why.
けで、するよ協力。手伝う。
ありがとう、ソラちゃん。
何にもできない誰かさんよりは役に立ちますよ。
へいへい、頼りにしてます。
へっへっへ。お腹空いてきちゃった。なんか力使うとお腹減るんだよな。
あ、わかる。短時間使うだけでも意外と疲れるよね。
そうそう。マジックポイント消費してる感じある。
ちょっと早いけど夕飯食べてくか。せっかくだし。
おごり？
いいよ、おごってやる。
やった。
ああ、九条は家で食べるよな。
ええ、そうね。お家で。
じゃあ、九条ほっといて食い始めるのもなんだし、出るか。解散しよ
モック行こうモック。
う。またかよ。
いいじゃん。こういう時しか食べらんないし、お母さん買ってきてくれないし。
そういえば、新見くんだけ一人暮らしなんだよね。
ああ、うん、そう。
ご実家で食事をとったりはしないの？
1年の時はたまに帰ったりしてたけど、行き来がめんどくさくてな。くつろげる部屋もないし。
ニーニの部屋はこの私が乗っ取った。
ってわけで連休とかしか帰らない。
そっか。それだと、外食中心になっちゃうよね。
だな。じゃ、出るか。
ういー。
You know what? I'm just gonna say it. Fucking Sora. I don't know what it is, but
うん、私も帰る。
I didn't mean to do that. But Sora. You know what? I'm just gonna. Yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. I forgot to show. I forgot to show it, but let me do this first. Then. I don't know what happened, but Sora. There you go. She's first now. It's gotta be the new poses, right? It's gotta be the new poses. She's gotten. She's a lot cuter now. Well, she was cute before, in the first episode, but there's just something about her in this episode that I don't know what it is, but yeah.
先外行ってて。会計済ませる。
お金、
いいよ、俺が払う。
でも、
いいからいいから。ここは兄貴にカッコつけさせてやってください。
じゃあ、ごちそうさまです。
ま、自分で稼いだお金じゃなくてお小遣いですけどね。だっせ。
うっせ。
I sling my bag over my shoulder and take the bill to the register. Kujo exchanges a few words with her co-workers, then she and Sora head out while I pay the bill.
モックだと駅前？
だな。
じゃあ駅まで一緒に。
みやこ先輩電車通学？
自転車だよ。あ、裏に止めてあるから先行ってて。すぐ追いつくから。
いいよ別に急いでないし。ね。
ああ、待ってる。
すぐ取ってくるね。
Kujo vanishes down a nearby alley. Sora waves her off. Then, once Kujo was out of sight, she folds her arms and frowns to herself.
どうした？
やっと落ち着いたなーって思いましてね。
落ち着いた？逆だろ。いろいろ厄介事が降ってきて。
まあそうなんだけど、こう見えても動揺してたんだよね。わけわかんない火事とか、わけわかんない超能力に突然目覚めたりとか。でもアーティファクトとかユーザーとかさ、わけわかんないことに名前をつけてもらって、やっとそういうもんかって思えたっていうか、ニーヤも同じって分かったし、みやこ先輩って友達、仲間もできたし、目的もできたし、不安っていうか、まあそういうのはなくなってきたかな。
結構気が小さいもんな、お前。
うっさいなあ、小さくないです。
なんかあってもお兄ちゃんが守ってやろうじゃないか。
うっさい、急に兄貴面すんな。
I try to pet her head, but she slaps my hand away. Where did you go? Precious little sister who hugged me right after the fire. Well, if she was always that needy, it kind of creeped me out. Well, you know... Hopefully it doesn't creep you out when she, at the end of the game.
ごめんなさい。お待たせ。
Kujo reappears with
よ
her
かった
bike.
ら、カゴに荷物入れてね。
お、あざーす。
新見くんも。必要なかったね。
ああ、手ぶら。行くか。
へーい。
The three of us head toward the station. Sora and Kujo hit it off right away. Yet before long, I start feeling left out of the conversation. Sora's so shy that it's rare to see her open up to someone like this after only a couple of hours. Yeah. I admit to being a bit hurt that they're totally ignoring me, but I don't have the guts to butt into a conversation between girls. In the end, we reached the station without me saying a word.
それじゃあ、私はここで。
またね。
気をつけてな。ん？
じゃあね。また明日。
Kujo swallows whatever she was about to say and hops onto her bike. Whatever she wanted to say. Still, if she didn't mention it, it probably wasn't too important.
きっとね、みゃーこ先輩こう言いたかったんだよ。
なんだよ。
ジャック空いてる。
え？
嘘だよ
おま、この野郎！
モック行こモック。ニーニのおごりで。
もうおごってやらねえ。お前がおごれ。
スマイルの分は私が払うよ。
0円じゃねえか。ほら行くぞ。
へーい。あ、ご飯ニーヤンと食べるってお母さんに電話しないと。
置いてくぞ。
待ってよ
Oh, that took a while. After eating dinner with Sora, I head back home. I throw my bag onto my bed and pull out my smartphone. Looks like Kujo sent me a message a few minutes ago. I wonder what it's all about. Maybe it's whatever she was trying to say before she left. I shrug out of my uniform. Yeah, as I unlock my phone and stare at the message in shock. Is she for real? Ooh.
はーい。早速アーティファクトを見つけたみたいね。思ったより優秀じゃないの。
The space in front of me warps in the mysterious being from a parallel world. Sophie appears. I don't have time to deal with her.
ソラだったかしら。あなたの妹。仲間に加えたみたいだけれど、信用できるの？どうも、ああいう騒がしいタイプは苦手なのよね。大事な場面でしくじりそうで。ちょっとかける。あなた聞いてるの？
いやちょっと後にして。今それどころじゃないから。
後にして？私の話以上に大事なことなんてないでしょ？
それどころじゃないんだって本当に。
まったく。私の協力者になったという自覚が足らないわね。そもそもあなた自体がイレギュラーで危険な存在であることを。もういいわ。しっかりやりなさいよ。しっかりとね。
Goodbye. With a weary sigh, Sophie vanishes through her interdimensional portal. The whole time I remained glued to my smartphone. Projected on the LCD screen are these words. This might be presumptuous of me, but may I start cooking dinner for you? I'm worried about your diet. May I start cooking dinner for you? Cooking dinner for you? My mind focuses on those magical words. I know she wrote some other stuff explaining why she wants to and all, but all of that matters right. None of that matters right now. Miyako Kujo, she wants to make dinner for me. This can't be real. My hands are trembling. I mean, this is practically like she's asking me out, right? No, that was last episode. We're practically dating. This is more shocking than finding out people are being turned to stone. More baffling than watching the school engulfed by mysterious flames. More incredible even than finding out my little sister has superpowers. This is literally the most spectacular thing that's ever happened to me. Yeah, and that's what you get in episode 1. I sit frozen in place, staring fixedly at my phone. Chill out, Kakeru. You gotta play it cool. You can't come on too strong here. Be natural. It takes me a whole 30 minutes before I'm calm enough to reply. Four 22. It's a fine day, but I think the real question is, what changes between episode 1 and 2? Oh, yeah, I guess. What does Kakeru do? Oh, yeah, I guess so. What happens, probably related to Kakeru, that shifts the timeline from being episode 1 timeline to episode 2 timeline, essentially. A soft breeze caresses my face. Man, what a wonderful morning. Normally the prospect of going to school depresses me, but today I'm fired up and ready to go.
Mia, ohayo.
おう
I find Sora waiting for me at the usual intersection by the station. She gives me an odd look when I greet her.
なんだよ。
いや、笑顔で返されたから気持ち悪って思って。
失礼なやつだな。
なに？そんなに私に会いたかったの？
ちげえよ、バカ。てかどうしたよ。やけに荷物多いな。
まあ、いろいろとね。
ふーん。
え？
は？
それだけ？
何が？
妹が重い荷物を持ってますよ。
見りゃわかるよ。
じゃなくて！
なんだよ。
持てよ。
は？
待ってよ！兄らしく、妹に優しく！
ばっかじゃねえの。
うわ、何この人。うわ、信じらんない。うわ。
めんどくせえな。ほら貸せよ。
え、本当にいいの？
運が良かったな。今日の俺は機嫌がすこぶるいい。
私に会えて？鼻で笑いましたよ、この人。
いいから貸せよ。
ありがとう。お兄ちゃん大好き。
I frowned at her blatant flattery and sling her heavy bag over my shoulder. A huge bag over my shoulder. Oof, what's in this thing? Rocks?
お、兄やん兄やん。
ん？
Dora pokes my arm and gestures at a girl little ways away. Oh,
もう名物になってるよね、あの逆ハーレム。
日に日に人が増えてる気がするな。
It's a strange sight. 10 guys surrounding a lone girl. I can't remember when I first saw her like this. Yep, but I do remember how troubled she seemed at first by all the attention. You didn't hear me sneeze. I used to feel a little sorry for her, and I even thought of rescuing her, but now...
カバン、揺らさないでくださいましね。お弁当が入っていますから。あら、失礼。簡単に手を握らせるほど気安い女ではございませんの。部をわきまえなさいな。
Since she's walking at a snail's pace, we catch up to her pretty quickly as we get closer. I hear snippets of her conversation. I can't get used to that. I can't get used to her voice. How do I put this?
すっかり女王様だね。
すみませんとかおどおどしてた気がするんだけどな、最初は。
We speed up a little to get out of the press as quickly as we can. Once we've put some distance between us and the harem queen, Sora turns back with a quizzical look.
ちやほやされると人格変わっちゃうのかな。荷物まで持たせちゃってるよ、あの人。
お前が言う？それ。
兄やんは身内じゃん、兄じゃん。他人にはお願いしないよ、さすがに。
さっさと彼氏でも作って落ち着いてほしいな、お前には。
そうだわ。お兄ちゃんが大好きだから彼氏とかいらないの。
No. He is her boyfriend. Just not yet.
嘘、今舌打ちした？
わかった。なんでお前の能力が俺に効かないのか。
何急に？なんだよ。
うざすぎて存在感消しきれねえんだよ。
やめろ、そういうの地味に来るから胸に。だからやめろ。
彼氏も無理だな。こんなおてんばじゃ。
ニーにも人のこと言えんのかよ。いつもしかめっ面で女子に怖がられてるくせに。
ふんふん。
お、どうした？なんだその勝ち誇った笑みは。
お前にもそのうちいい人現れるよ。
なんだその爽やかキャラ。てかニモってなんだ？え、嘘、彼女できたの？ほんとなんだこいつ。もしかしてミャーコ先輩のこと言ってる？付き合ってんの？
秒読みかもな。
あ、こいつバカだ。どう見ても脈なしでしょうが。
Well, he's not wrong. They did indeed go out. It's just that not this time.
言ってろ。
相手はコロナグループの社長令嬢ですよ。庶民のあなたには釣り合いませんよ。目を覚ましなさい。
うっせうっせ。お前はまず友達作れ。
いるってば。朝は仕方なくニーニと投稿してあげてるだけ。
お仕方なくとか言うならカバン自分で持つか。
お兄ちゃん大好き。これだから鼻で笑うのやめろ。鼻で笑うの。
We continue our idle banter the rest of the way to school. Spending time with Sora sure is draining. First period goes by, then second period, then third. Man, class is so boring. I'm so done with today. The bell can't come soon enough. I while away the hours by rereading Kuja's message over and over. I can't wait for her to come over. It must have taken a lot of courage to offer to come cook for a guy at his house. Judging by the tone of her message, she's worried I might not like her. That's the only possible explanation for why she sent such a long message, explaining why exactly she wanted to cook for me. From what she said, she has two reasons for offering to cook for me. First, she's worried about my eating habits. Second, this is her way of thanking me for all the help I gave her. I can understand the bit about my diet, but I don't actually recall being all that helpful to Kujo. I guess she's referring to how I covered her when the fire went out of control after she stole the user's artifact. Honestly, that was no big deal. That said, I'm sure as hell not going to tell her that.
そっか。ごめんね、ずうずうしいこと言って。気にしないでおくね。
I could totally see her saying that if I played it down, and if that happened, I'd regret throwing away this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the rest of my days. And so I graciously accepted Kujo's kindness and agreed to let her cook for me. I guess that makes me a sleazy opportunist, huh? But, you know, this is what all virgin dudes starved for companionship are like. And during our last break, Kujo stopped me on my way to the restroom.
メッセージの件なんだけど、急にごめんなさい。コンビニのお弁当や外食ばかりで、栄養バランスが心配で、よかったら、今日から作らせてもらってもいいかな。
When she asked me again in person, there was no way I could refuse. I played it cool at the time, but I was jumping for joy in my mind. I know I'm a creep, but at least let me have this. So from today on, Kujo will be cooking dinner for me. The hype is real. I steal a glance at Kujo. She's paying attention like a good student. Guess I'm the only one who's a nervous wreck. wait a darn minute. Does that mean I'm the only one who sees this as something special? I think back to what Sora said about me and Kudra having zero chemistry. It sucks to admit it, but she might be right. God, I'm not just a creep, I'm also pathetic. At first we had the petrification incident, and then there was the fire. That's one death, and one hospitalization of the guy... and one hospitalization for the guy who started the fire. We've got artifact superpowers, and beings from a parallel world all popping up. This isn't the time to be getting all giddy over a girl coming to cook for me, but still.
それじゃあ次、九条さん。続きから読んでくれる？はい。
My gaze wanders back to Kujo. I know it's dumb, but I care more about what my classmates think of me than the crisis this town is facing. I guess I'm not cut out to be a protagonist. True. Yeah, those are the thoughts that pass through my mind as I listen to Kujo recite from the textbook.